Sunstreaker was a cop. Yes, friends, Missing Link Sunstreaker is coming. An updated version of the OGest OG Transformer with modern movableness and a police-themed doppelganger, Koppelganger. So let's revisit Generation Select's Earthrise Cordon. Now this righteous Rosa and Packmate Spinout were based on Sunstreaker's old outfits from the Diaclone days, before he was even a Transformer. And it's kind of not great. Literally just Sunstreaker but cop, rocking that clean monochrome and nothing else. The robot mode is extremely default. Just a regular everyday normal bot who's robbed Sunny's ear flaps. I do kind of like it, but I don't feel like he's earned that. And he could definitely use some pointier weapons. Transformation's a fussy scrum down, and the car mode's on a bit of a wobble. It's a sick shape, fast and sleek, and that red light bar really pops. But the clear windscreen only betrays his messy guts, and it just comes off kind of crunchy. Still, I can't help but love a bot in uniform. All Cordons are beautiful. Never been so happy to see a wasp. So it looks like Transformers Animated Wasp finally made it in Age of the Primes, but he won't be the first car former that's not Waspinator. This is Buzzerbot from the very kid-focused Transformers GoBots. That feels weird to say. And he's actually been a bug and a bike before this third and final reincarnation. He ain't half a dorky-looking doofus. All daft smiles and bright eyes and a delightful chunky bod, crafted from colossal rounded slabs in pleasant purple and turquoise. GameCube fan, are we? Posing's not too crazy, but it is present, with a tasty head-neutral waist spin, and these shoulder ratchets are tectonic. Gotta love the incredibly smooth transformation. The massive components spin and clonk with a tactile thunk that's sensory heaven. And this fat-ass convertible is the smoothest ride in Toy Town. Those comfy-looking chairs imply a princely plush pound, and the giant wheels go round and round. But baby, buzz in! Is it okay that they made this? Now, any 90s rememberers out there may recall the trend of toy lines popping up for seriously non-kid-approved IPs. Aliens, friggin' Rambo, and of course Predator, every 6-year-old's favourite movie about alien blood sport. And one of Kenner's attempts at making Predator's characters was Scavage here. Not quite Savage, not quite Scavenger, or sometimes Nightstorm. Resplendent in a crusty but opulent palette of brown and gold armour, with bared teeth popping hard against his night black skin. Don't know if that sits right. Love the ominous mask, going full Satan with vicious horns and indifferent golden stare. I never like figures that are moulded in sort of an action pose. Just makes him look dumb running. And his dreadlocks are so rigid against the back and shoulder cannon that I wonder why they gave him a neck. But it's all about the massive V-shaped bolus launcher, snaring fools left and right. And he's got a skull staff with eyebrows. Cheers for watching, stick around. I mean, stick around. What is a Dinobot without the dino? Time for a dip into Transformers Action Masters, those adorable untransformable figures that unwisely replaced actual Transformers for a year. For me, the perfect example of the Action Master alt modectomy is Snarl, who's not only down a dino mode, but also most of his flair. Original Snarl is among the greebliest of bots, practically wearing a bifurcated golden stegosaurus, so the simplification leaves him feeling mighty naked. Just a basic grey and red bot bereft of his signature tail wings, bearing only hints of stego plates up his back and legs, plus these fossilized calf limbs and a yellow face for some reason. Even posing's a mixed bag, with Star Warsy shoulders and G.I. Joe down below, and all the transforming left to his Godzilla-coded buddy, Tyrannitron. Good one. Look, I like Action Masters, but I get why they went down like a sack of crap. They don't do the thing in the name. But these days, they're the definition of harmless. You hop off, my handsome dino baby. Fixing up my Bumblebee. So this is my Transformers G1 Bumblebee. He came out in 1984. I've had him since about 1990, and he's been missing a shoulder tyre for about 35 years. It's not a big deal, but it makes him look scruffy, and it messes with the car mode. He can't sit straight, so let's give him some love, shall we? Fortunately, I've picked up a new set from the Etsy store Sloth and Crocodile, who do a lot of rubbery, plasticky toy things, including a lot of replacement parts for Transformers and such. It's a very nice match for the original. It's the same material, I think. It's the same size, and it's even got the text raised on the side there. So let's slot that on, and I guess we're done. Bumblebee's good as new. I also picked up a set for my much more obscure Transformers Motivators Gripper and Lightspeed. So I just love that somebody's out there making these replacement parts for us. Big up Sloth and Crocodile. Follow me for more. You may dispense with the pleasantries. Remember that gag in the first Transformers movie where the Allspark accidentally brought a vending machine to life? It's a toy now. Behold Dispensor, who's a repaint of Payload from the '07 movie Backup Squad, and as such inherits all Payload's problems. Weird limbs, overwhelming panel flaps, the wretched body impaling grabby claw gimmick. What the heck? Friggin' thing sheared off halfway through, oh man. But it also gets the brilliant Securicore armoured van mode. He's even brought his own bottle blaster, a new head that comes off even easier, and a silly fake-out rooftop Vendy design. Plus the van mode's rocking the logo for Minotaur Piss, or whatever that slop's called. Oh, Mood Whiplash, is it? That's a deep cut with a missing H. I don't know, Vendy O'Williams here ain't great, but it's a fun toy to say you have. So much of the gag is just the stickers, which are funny once. I was funny once. Can you feel the power of the Shadow Raider? Transformers Studio Series Shadow Raider here is supposedly an action figure based on one of Lockdown's mates from Age of Extinction, but in reality it's more or less a straight reprint of Lockdown with a greened out face wearing a crumpled Dayglow Lambo on its back like a Ninja Turtle. And that's clearly what it's all about here, is the officially licensed car mode, which, to be fair, is a stunner. Just a gorgeous Aventador just in stunning signature sunset orange, if you can get there. The transformation's excruciatingly crunchy, with constant parts clashing and pieces coming away, and I don't mind the odd pop-off, but we're talking minimum 3 bits that bail consistently, including both arms. What is a boy to do? But look, Shadow Raider is barely a character. He's an obvious corporate tie-in with a job title for a name, but one for whom I have an irrational soft spot. I think I've got a cream for that. Pac-Man furiously what? This scrungly little sucker is Guzzle, a Commander-class toy, not that one, from the Cyberverse portion, not that one, of the Transformers Dark of the Moon range, as a rare nod to the Sparkabots, with none of the sparks but most of the charm. I'm very fond of the pint-sized tank mode, all compact and camo-drenched, trundling around like a shard of hatred. Look at that detail. And the robot's pretty much an exploded version of that, balanced upright with over-sculpted limbs awkwardly yanked away from the tiny torso and its surprise blob of yellow. Very much dig the blue face nestled sternly in the helmet, and these dweeby double guns ain't much cop, but the comically long barrel makes him way too much fun to twiddle about. Much as Guzzle is the coolest Sparkabot, that's a low bar, and this is probably the only update he's getting. If his turn in Last Stand of the Wreckers didn't net him a Generations toy 10 years ago, I don't know what will. Fingers crossed. Don't cog it up. Now, even if you've seen Transformers The Last Night, you might not remember many of the billions of half-baked ideas it crammed into your eyeballs, but you may recall that Anthony Hopkins had a Chaos Gremlin robot butler named Cogman, whom he specifically mentioned was a headmaster, and then nothing happened. This is him. Well, actually, this is him. The rest of it's just a mech suit made out of Big Tony's car that's not an Aston Martin. Room for 2, though, and as a Brit, I appreciate the right-hand drive. Pretty nice bot, too, all steampunky gears and brass plumbing with a bonus souvenir sword. Not that Cogman had a sword in the film, I think they were just giving them away on set. But its very classical form and straightforward Generations-y transformation don't feel very movie-verse. And the tiny head friend gimmick makes me think the toy only got made because Titan's Return was kicking off at the same time. I'm into it though, the figure's nice enough and the car's cool enough that it makes up for the weird face. Dated a few of them. Lovely stuff. Thanks for watching, team. Massive thanks as always to all the names above me of the people who keep things moving around here, and a big random patron shout out to Alexander Moore. Thank you, mate. Catch you on the next one, gang. See you later.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thews Awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.